welcome to N the BRAE TV. Got an extra special guest with us tonight, Bob Malcolm, ex-Rangers, Derby and Motherwell. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Good to be here, guys.
Thanks very much for agreeing to come on. Great to have you. So I'm just going to fire away with a few wee quick fire questions, Bob, but before I get started, just to introduce myself. So I'm Mark. I'm also known as Franco sometimes. I'm on the Darvel committee. Joined maybe about eight months to a year ago. Mick obviously started with Darvel maybe about a year ago, and I know he's obviously friendly with yourself. So very ambitious club, trying to push as far as we can now that we've obviously got a pathway into the senior divisions. So very keen, local boy. My family's been heavily involved over a number of years. Likewise as Jim as well, and we're just desperate to make some headway now that we've kind of came out for the lower divisions. And I'm joined tonight with Jim, who's a familiar face about the club as well. Pass you over, Jim. Do you want to do a wee quick intro?
No particularly, mate. Just you carry on with the questions, and then I'll get into my interviews. Don't
Right,
like to say
okay.
too much about myself. I don't like to myself up too much, Bob.
Right, okay. All right, and so I'll fire a quick fire questions at you then, Bob, just to get to you know. So who would you say your best player that you've ever played with during your career?
Out with Barry, I'm not going to say him because he's my pal, but Ronald de Boer. Especially the fact that the guy, when he came to Rangers, only had probably half a knee. He seen the way he ran, he didn't bend properly. And to have the standard that he played at for that number of years that he was at Rangers, and it was incredible.
What would you say was extra special about him, Bob? Was it just his mental game, or would you just say just how he could read the game, or what would you say was like the connection?
Just everything he did. He didn't have. He wasn't slow, but he never had pace. His touch was never a yard for his body. His passing was good. Great in the air for his height. Scores goals, set up goals, a lot of goals.
Mm-hmm.
But just his all-round knowledge of the game. I think when people ask me about football players, I would say him. He's a proper football player. I know that like your Henrik Larssons and your Cloysters, not they scored goals, but they didn't have the same sort of play the same sort of way as these guys like Lubo Moravcik's and that as well. They're proper football players that create things and set up chances for these guys. And just for that reason, basically, that's why I would say him.
So that kid Barry didn't moan at him constantly, Bob, eh?
Oh, he did 100%. He did moan him. There wasn't anything he never moaned at.
He liked that though, didn't he? He liked everybody moaning it. That's the way he is, though, isn't he?
That is, yeah, because you never change him. He's not as bad now, to be fair, but playing with him was a nightmare. For moaning, but also great player.
He was just a winner, but wasn't he? Everything that he absolutely did was just about winning. And you hear him often say that he would go on to folk, but it was purely about trying to get them better them and stuff like that to make them a winner. It was never just because he was doing it for sake, wasn't it, with Barry? It's
nothing personal. I think that's what everybody gets. See nowadays, it doesn't harm. We've got a couple of boys that can do it. I know I've been to watch your Scottish Cup game, and I know you've got a few boys that get on when he's only doing well. Then there's a few boys that can get on players' cases, but by and large, it doesn't harm these days, and that's what needs to come back in again because that's what's missing.
Definitely, mate. All right, so moving on then, who was the best player you probably ever played against then?
Played against Adriano Inter Milan, Cambiasso Inter Milan. Lubo Moravcik, says football player wise, different class. Roy Keane. I'd probably say football wise, I'd say maybe Moravcik.
He was some player, wasn't he?
At that age as well, he come and done what he done for the years that he was at Celtic.
Definitely. He was something else. I often wish he'd played with us at some point as well. Who was your footballing hero then growing up? Obviously, I know you were East End and your dad was obviously Rangers and a lot of your family was Rangers. I've seen one in interviews that your auntie and uncle used to take you along. Who was Who was your absolute pinnacle or your hero, should I say, when you were growing up then, Bob?
My hero. Well, fortunate enough when I was growing up, I used to, like, after playing boys club and that, I went to Rangers boys club, and Charlie Muller's uncle was my manager. So Charlie used to come and present the trophies and that. But when, like, going to the pubs now with my dad before going to games and stuff, my dad his pals used to mingle. I used to go to the pubs in Govan and that. So got to know Ian Durrant through that way, and then, but never, because I was that young, didn't really realise who he was until I actually got right into football, got to watch and stuff, and realised how good he was. And then, like I say, the old thing when you're at school playground, you were always a football player, weren't you? It was always Ian Durrant for me.
He's a rival for you next season now, eh? So I see he's at East BRAE, so he's a rival for you next year.
I know.
Who's he up there with now? Isn't he Jury, is it?
No, wee Ginge.
Aiken, Steve Aiken.
Aiken and Chris.
He's Durrant, he was phenomenal. Now, obviously, that part of the old guard, so to speak, at Rangers, he was something else. He came a bit on an injury and didn't he quite late on in his career.
On that point, see the injury, when I never, like, trained with him and stuff before that, but, like, speaking to guys like Charlie Muller and players like that who was there, said they'd probably been one of the best players in Europe at that point. But with the injury, but even see when he came back for the injury, was still one of the fittest guys doing the running, still a great player when he could go back for all the years. Even when he went to Kilmarnock, was still one of my first games was again, and Durrant played for Kilmarnock, and he ran the show for the first 60-70 minutes. And that's how good he was, even at that age as well. I think he must have been close to 40 at that point.
Quiet wee boy as well, eh?
Oh, very quiet.
That's how he is. So moving on then, Bob, what about best stadium that you've ever played in? Where would you say?
Stadium? I'm not one of the guys to say
Ibrox. It's got to be, surely growing up and then obviously making your... Who was it you made your debut against?
Dundee United at Ibrox.
Was it? That must have been, especially for your parents and all your family and all that, must have been something else.
It was, but obviously Ibrox, you always want to play there when you're growing up as a Rangers fan. That's the pinnacle. But when I went to Australia, the stadium we played there was unbelievable as well. Some of them, Brisbane Roar, it was the Suncorp, was massive. No great crowds, so it doesn't really, you don't get the full hang of it. But even like Melbourne, when you go to stadiums at Melbourne, they're playing in the big cricket stadiums, 120,000 people it holds. It's crazy, but some stadiums, to be fair.
Aye, it probably doesn't seem or feel the same. We're having, obviously you're talking about 120,000, but Cyprus, you're talking maybe a third of that, and it's having that crowd that just really lifts the place half. And you saying having something a lot bigger, great to play in it, but no the same sense of atmosphere or anything it must have been.
As it's the atmosphere that makes the games. I think I can remember playing a game in Motherwell, and I think the average crowd must have been about 3,000-4,000 throughout for that was the first time I was there, so it was like maybe for the 6 months, and one of the last games against Aberdeen to get into Europe, and it was between us and Aberdeen. Whoever won that game would get into, I think it was third place, take us into Europe. And it was a full house, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. It's just how can we not get that back to other stadiums? There must be some way we can get that back.
I'd like to think so anyway. But
I think it's a price, Bob. I honestly just think it's down to price. I think, see if they bring it to a tenner a head or 12 pound a head for less, I think the Grunds would be mobbed. I also think the Friday night games are really good, and I remember Kilmarnock doing it 10, 12 years ago. They get 12,000 at their game, and it might have been Motherwell that were playing actually. So I don't understand why clubs don't try these things.
I bring the prices down so more people.
Price down, better atmosphere. The players play better. Everyone. They sell more pies. They sell more programs. You know what I mean? It makes sense to me.
I know it's just some financial thing that stops it with doing it, but it would be good to get the crowds back.
It's definitely going to be attributed to not just the money aspect and how much it costs to get into the games or Jim, but just in the whole sort of standard, even for back when Bob played, the amount of players that you look back that actually played in that SPL across the broad spectrum between Rangers, Celtic, and United, Aberdeen, Kelly.
Yeah.
You don't have, I'm not saying that we don't produce good players nowadays, but what I'm saying is when you look back then and you take a snapshot, it's completely different. And that's probably what would have been the draw back then as well, I think.
But everything's totally different from back then. There's the reserves have changed.
Yeah.
The kids don't get the luxury of playing with 5 and 6 reserve first team players. Like when I was growing up, I was playing in a reserve game with Ian Durant, Stuart McCall, John Brown, Theo Snelder's a goalkeeper, Charlie Muller. It's mental playing with these guys, and then you can only but learn. Even if you have a bad game, you're still learning off the guys that are there.
I agree with you, Bob, because I think now it's under 18s, under 19s, under 20s, and these guys aren't playing with men. They're not learning. They're not learning the same way as you did get flung in with these guys.
They're playing against the same kids, under 10s right through. So they're playing against the same guys. They know how they're playing.
Yep.
It's a shame on them because they're not learning they're not learning the proper way. And then you've got youth coaches saying that they don't want to send their kids out because they don't think that the coaches they're not good enough coaches to coach them. So they're never going to learn.
No, you're right.
Crazy. We'll come on to that a wee bit later. That's actually one of the questions that we've got later on for you anyway, because I know you're quite passionate about that. But moving on to the quick fire one still again then. Who's the best manager that you've worked under?
Best manager? Billy Davis, I would say. Derby.
Did you for Derby?
Derby, yeah. It was, to be fair, it was a wee shit sometimes. It was hard, but man to man, like for the team, not just individuals, but for the team, it was all in. It was passionate, wanted to win. It was his life 24/7. He would always think about how to win a game. And that bred into the squad, to be fair, for the season that we got promoted. His training was brilliant as well, to be fair.
Was that Derby were they in the Premiership when you went there? Were they not quite close?
I went there in the Championship.
Sorry, aye. He's got a relatively good season.
Yeah, we had a bad start in the Premier League, and then he got the sack, and Paul Joe got the job. But
was there no something funny about Paul Joe? Did you not go down and play really well, and then there was something along the lines that you played too good a football or something?
Well, that's when I was at Rangers. He was at Wigan.
Oh, is that what it is?
That was when Dick Advocat got caught playing the charity game at Shelton Juniors.
Right.
And he basically had pied me because I was involved with the first team before that, training with them stuff, and then I had been pushed to the side. And I said to him, I need to go. I need to just go and play now. And he had arranged with the Dick that I could go and play in this game, and it was for Clydebank. I think Derek Ferguson took the team at the time, and went down, done well in the game. But he said I played too much football.
I remember reading that. How can you win?
I know, but to be fair, they were in the Championship. Big Jig, and that was it.
Big Lee.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Maybe it just didn't suit their style.
Aye.
But it worked out well because I went back to Rangers and then
That's right.
There. So.
Yeah, good. And last one for the quick fire then is I've got the list here. Nando's or Black Rooster?
To be fair, I don't go to any of them. I would go to Black Rooster, but next will give me my discount card yet.
You're not got your gold card yet, no?
No, I've not got it yet.
tight get, so he is, man.
He stays next door to me and he's not got his either.
At least you don't feel so bad then. Right, that kind of concludes the quick fire questions. I'm going to hand you over to Jim. He's going to fire away with some proper interview questions, mate, and delve into a wee bit deeper into your kind of career and stuff. Okay, pal?
No worries.
Hi Bob, how you doing, Paul? Mate, how's lockdown been for you, and how you been keeping yourself busy over the last 10, 11 weeks?
It's been all right, mate. It's been all right. Just getting on with things day to day. It's been getting to keep myself busy, doing different things. So obviously there's not much football wise, but still keeping tabs on things. obviously, as you know, there's a lot of players getting released for clubs and stuff. So we're still looking, still seeing if we can better our squad for next season. So just basically doing things like that.
The two of you I know have spoken to Andy that Mick hasn't spoken to, have you?
No. Spoke to Mick. Just, I think we're good because the opposite ends of the scale, like you're too far away from each other. So
listen, you guys had a fantastic season last year with Kelty. What's your thoughts on the current situation? And are you still hopeful of joining the SPFL next year? Because it seems amazing that Hearts, Partick, and Ra all get relegated, but Brecon managed to stay in the SPFL. It just doesn't seem right, mate. What are you hoping on?
It's a shambles. But obviously, we're hoping that I know there's other talks coming up. Reading between the lines, I don't know if I've seen it in the papers that Ann Budget's trying to go for 14, which doesn't suit us, obviously, or Nora. So we're hoping it's not going to go down that road, but we're basically in the dark, to be honest. We don't really know what's happening. We'll probably hear it at the same time as everybody else.
Aye.
But we're prepared for as when the season starts. If it's in, we feel we've got a good enough team now that can step up into that league. Obviously, we add in maybe 2 or 3 players that can make it better. But even if we're not in that league, then we'll still try and add to the Lowland League squad to obviously try and have a bash at that again.
Aye. Now, what is the standard of the Lowland League, Bob? Because I was talking to Mick yesterday, and I was saying that the league we're getting into next year with Auchinleck, Talbot, Pollock, Beeve, Kilwinning, I reckon that's going to be a tougher league than what it'd be if we won the league and get into the Lowland League. I mean, I ken there's obviously some good teams, Bonnyrigg, Berwick, East Stirling, whatever, but the teams at the bottom end, they don't seem very competitive.
They're not that. It's like three different sections. You would say there's a top 6, 7 teams, and then there's a middle ground.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong. The middle and the bottom teams, they're on their day they can beat you. Do you know what I mean? They're good football teams. It's just maybe they've not got the same strength of squad as that other teams have. So they're still good enough on their day. We've dropped points against the lower teams, so it's lively league. You won and you drop points against the better and the less better team. So I think on the standard of the Lowland League is getting better each year. The standard of players, I know, said definitely last season, the standard of player coming into the league was tenfold from the year before.
Aye, sure.
And probably this season again, because if we don't go up, then there's going to be us, Bonnyrigg, BSC.
Yeah, they're all going to strengthen, aren't they?
Berwick, who's been in the league for a year now, they know what it's all about. They can do last season. You've got 6, 7 teams who are going to try and have a bash for the league.
Aye.
Does Bo'ness still feature into that? Sorry, Bob. Does Bo'ness still feature into that? If you don't go up, will Bo'ness still come in for the East of Scotland Premier?
Yeah, they'll still come in. They'll still come in
as well. Because they're quite.
I think the good thing is that the lower league can structure as in both ways. They'll work it as in they'll miss one team, maybe miss a game one weekend or whatever. Because I think last season there was a team chucked it after a couple of weeks, couple of games. I think is it Selkirk or something? They chucked it. So they're good that way. If something happens, then they'll sort it. But as I say, we don't really know what's happening. So.
Aye. Because I'll tell you what, Bob, seeing 10 years' time with the pyramid now, I can see that Lowland League is going to be an absolute belter, and I would say 5 to 10 years' time, because I would imagine all the top junior teams or ex-junior teams will win that league. It's going to be very, very competitive. I
think, to be honest with that, on your point there, I think the problem with the League 2 teams is they know that there's behind coming up now. You've got us, you've got Bonnyrigg, you've got BSCs, you've got East Stirling, who are all got good players in the squads.
Aye.
And if they get promoted, they've got better stadiums, better squads, better fan base.
Correct.
So they're all kind of basically scared, if you like, for any other clubs to come up, because they know that they're going to overtake them, just as Cove did.
Aye, exactly, Paul. Aye, exactly.
See, just on that though, it's been stale for a few years though, and what you're saying there, it is like these teams, they are kind of, as you say, scared because there's ambitious teams and all that behind them. But I know there's a long-standing history where they teams been in that league and stuff like that. But surely that can only breed competitiveness and make our leagues better all the way up now that they've got that, the pyramid system all the way up now. Surely it can only make it better.
But you would think that that's the only thing that can make it better. I know for us personally, I know that if we get promoted, then you've got teams that are all around about us, East 5, Cowdenbeath, they're going to need to compete with us, or we'll need to compete with them, the players. So it's who's got the best setup.
Exactly.
You've got a better setup than Cowdenbeath. I know East 5 have just got an AstroTurf not put in their pitch, so if I had the choice between us and Cowdenbeath, I would definitely pick us, just for the fact that it's a better setup.
Yeah.
So.
What were your crowds kind of average crowd last season, Bob? What did Kelty get at home?
We were getting maybe 500-600 at home games, and then the bigger games we were getting 12, and I think one of them had 1,500. Bonnerig game was 1,500-1,600. So
brilliant.
But if you're getting better teams coming through the gates every week, then the crowds will come. Do you know?
Listen, you're right. Listen, we at Darvel we had about 20-30 people 4 years ago. All of a sudden, our average last year was 247, but we're going the right direction and get into the Premier League next year. Hopefully, I can see us getting to the 400-500 quite easily next season. I really can.
Well, the game I went to was a big crowd. I don't know the exact amount. It was the Scottish Cup game, but great atmosphere. All in that wee stand, there was great.
It was good, Paul.
Kids with the drum and that. So that's what you want.
Of course it is. Listen, what's it like working with Barry? Is he still as demanding as a manager as he was as a football player?
Oh, definitely.
Aye.
Definitely. But that's the side you don't want to take away from him. If you take that away from him, then he's not going to be the same person. That's what drives him, to be honest. It's not bad. It's not a bad thing that he's like that. He's demanding, and to be fair, the players love it. They thrive off it. I know some players in the past have kind of went into their shell a bit. But you say that's the characters that you need, and you don't need in football. If you have a wee go at them, then they go into their shell. You don't see them again for 6 weeks. So we're fortunate with the group that we've got to know that they don't do that. You either grow a backbone, and then you go and do your bit, and then you say to them, look, we'll get up. You have just went and proved you wrong. And that's what he wants. He wants the same. He wants to have a go at somebody, and then they go and prove him wrong.
Bob, I've seen some players at my time at Ibrox. Obviously, Gaza, Laudrup, Mikhailachenko, Reina, Van Bronckhorst, Tugay. Barry was out of this world. He really, over a period of time, he was brilliant. Just a fantastic football player.
Doesn't let you forget either. Honestly, I annoyed my mate in that, but he just did for a sustained period over the years he was there.
Unbelievable.
I know he had some bad games, but for the amount of games that he played, to have maybe only 2-3 bad games is for the standard, especially the players, as Mark said earlier, the players that was in the league at that time.
Yep. Listen, do you ever see yourself making the move for assistant to be a manager? Is it something you want to do?
Probably in the future. Just now I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I don't really see myself in the boardroom situation or that, going to meetings and doing that. I'm enjoying coaching the boys and doing that side of it just now. Probably in the future I will want to maybe have my own gig or whatever, but now I'm happy being with Barry and doing the things that we're doing.
Good, Paul. Good. Listen, and I've obviously spoken about Barry there, but I'll go into your cell, and honestly, as good a passer of boys I've seen at Ibrox, do you ever feel you're underrated as a football player, Bob? And does that ever bother you? You didn't get the recognition you deserve?
No, doesn't bother me. Listen, I lived the dream. I played for my boyhood club, so it doesn't bother me. Everybody's got their opinions. I was just fortunate that when I grew up, playing under John Brown and players like the youth teams, they liked the way I played, and then they progressed me, and I managed to get in the first team. But no, I don't have any regret. Maybe the only regret that I have is that I never probably I wasn't never as fit as what I should have been.
Yeah.
Probably that, and probably never played as many games as I should have been because of that. But
Yeah.
as I say, I lived the dream, done what I wanted to do. So no, I'm not getting any regrets that way.
I mean, you would be one of the few youths at that time that come through the system at Ibrox, because obviously they were spending big money, and you would play alongside Rayner, Van Bronckhorst, two guy. So it says a bit about you that you managed to get into that team, Paul.
To be fair, we had a good youth team. To be honest, that when we were in the youth team, there was a lot of teams had good players. Kilmarnock had a good youth set up.
Yep.
Aberdeen, Celtic, St Johnstone. So there was never guaranteed that Rangers and Celtic were always going to win the league. I can remember Kilmarnock won it a couple of times. Team. So and a lot of players that came through in their youth teams went on and played in the first team. So there was a few years made it for my team. Pierre McDonald, Jimmy Gibson's, Stevie Hughes, Mo Ross, Alan McGregor, Mark Brown. So there was a few made it, but obviously they had maybe a few games and then left to go other places. But it was a great experience coming out and playing with the guys.
See, just a quick one, Jim. See, on that, you're talking about like playing obviously great players and obviously getting into that team. Obviously, playing along these players obviously inspired you. What was it like playing in Ibrox and obviously having like the fans on your back? How difficult was that, dealing with that element of playing games and stuff? I know obviously fans have talked about it before. It can be quite overwhelming, and obviously it kind of takes you away from your football, dealing with the crowd because you might be having a bad game and that. Is that really difficult? How do you coach or manage to be able to deal with that kind of thing? Does it just come natural, or is it something that some of the older players will tell you how to, when you're breaking through into the...
You don't actually. It's crazy. Even though there's 50,000 in the stadium, you don't actually hear it unless you're getting beat and there's no much noise. Then you can hear it. I was fortunate enough that I can remember I had a bad game against Motherwell, and the gaffer took me off just after half time, and I don't know if they were cheering me coming off or they were cheering for the guy coming on. But I remember grabbing the jacket and going in a bad mood. But after the next day, the gaffers grabbed me and says, "Look, just forget about it. It's done." And to be fair, he could have took me out of the team at that time, and he never. And that's what makes you as well. You've got to. That's the things you've got to stand up to. But I have seen it, Alan. I've seen it in Hallam Hutton. Went for 9 million. Got dogs abuse for the fans. Charlie Adam, the same. Fergie go stick off players. But listen, as I said earlier, it's opinions. Every fan's got their opinion. They pay your money, so they're entitled to it. But they're not going to. Everybody doesn't like the same people.
It's funny, Bob. It's funny, but you've just mentioned 3 or 4 players that they're all Scottish. They seem to Ibrox. It seemed to be the Scottish players. Now, Boydie's my pal. And I used to walk out Ibrox and the guy would say, "Fuck me, that bastard Boydie did nothing today." I said, "No, he just scored 3. Give away."
I know. But that's what, even go back years ago, Cloyster was the same. Fat, lazy, whatever. Never, but he scores a hat-trick. Same with Boydie, scored 5 goals, but he never ran about enough. Can never be happy. I mean,
used to clap when Sugo came on. Give away.
But that is going back in the days. That's the thing they would get. You would have. Rangers could sign a player right for 3 million, which would be nothing back then. And he would maybe play 10 games, but you would have 50,000 Rangers fans jumping about with him on the back in the strip.
Exactly.
And they would love him, but he wasn't a good player. But listen, growing up in East End as well, you either take it or you don't.
What a half jokes about, mate.
That's it,
so it's like, we ken you and Mick are pals, mate. What's your thoughts on Darvel from what you can see from the outside, and what do you know about the club?
To be honest, same as Kelty. I didn't really know much about them before they came on the scene. So when Mick got the job, then obviously I looked into it a wee bit more and came down to watch the game. Just unfortunate your games coincide with the same time as your games. You can't really get down a lot, but great setup. I think obviously Mick's building a great squad as well. Great board. I seen the interview last week with Mick with also doing great things with the dressing rooms and stuff. Same as us, want to get better, want to take that step forward.
Yep.
And ambitious. So you add all these things together, then you've got a club that's going places.
Aye. There's no doubt, because I know over the next 2 to 3 years our ambition is to get to the Lowland League. That's where we're hopefully heading, pal, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Hopefully we'll not be there by the time you get there, but no,
listen, you can obviously through Mick that we're very ambitious at the club, and we've got our own targets. You'll know better than anyone, but what's the difference for League 2 and the SPFL to your league? And I'm talking about the teams at the top end of your league.
There won't be any difference. There won't.
Yep.
Even, I think probably, obviously me and Barry had a couple of years at League 2 with Clyde. Even going back then, there's clubs that were just happy to plod along in that league, yep, and take their money and hopefully stay in the league. And this is the teams that are scared for us to come up. Not just us, and any team like us with a bit of ambition like yourselves as well. They know that in the next 5-6 years, yourselves, Auchinlecks, Pollops, Glenaftons, teams even like Pennycook and stuff through the rest of Scotland or the rest of Scotland, they've all got good squads, Dundonald's and teams like that. So they know that in the next 5 years that there's going to be a lot of teams pushing to get into League 2 because of the pathway. So I think that's maybe what's bothering them, and they're trying to. Well, I don't know what the talks are, but going a couple of weeks ago, they were saying that it's trying to scrap the kind of a pyramid system. So I can't see it happening right enough because it's been too much work putting it. But
surely it can.
I just think that some of these teams are scared for the other ones to come in.
Aye, exactly. Right, Paul, that concludes all the questions I've got. We'll need to cut off and then come back on here, and then we've got a few questions for some of our supporters, Paul, and then we can go from there.
No worries.
Welcome back, Paul. We've just got a few questions for the fans. First one's for the gaffer. You obviously had a very successful career at the Rangers, Paul, and were handsomely paid. Why did you not get a hair transplant during that time? That's what he wants to know.
To be honest, it was a pain in the arse. See, doing your hair every morning. I mean, as somebody put this on Twitter the other day, I think it was Andy McLaren about the old gel they used to get, the big tubs with the blue and the green and the red tubs of gel. And then we moved on for that to the Dax wax. I think when I started using the Dax wax, that's when the hair used to come out my hands and that when I was putting it on. No, once I shaved off, that was it. There was no going back.
No room for you and two guys at the dressing room.
I'm not as vain as Big Boy do.
This one's for Josh Hollywood. Is it true EastEnders approached you to play Phil Mitchell when he was off sick?
To be fair, there's a wee woman that always calls me that as well. That was brought up, so I don't know why, right enough.
This one's for Colin Richmond. Do you remember the night as reserve team captain for Rangers at the end of a season supporters do in the Winter Gardens in Blackpool?
I do, yes.
He seems to have right good memories of it, that's for sure.
Aye, that was a right good days. Actually, I remember when I was younger, I used to play down there. And there used to be a wee 7-a-side tournament, and it was all men. I used to play, and I think that's probably why the reasons why I ended up like being stupid at tackles and stuff was dodging tackles for like proper grown men. Yeah. And then obviously when I'm playing against people my own size, I'm a wee bit stronger on tackles. You know what I mean? So.
Aye. Your dinner ready?
Ask me that's a beer.
Listen, this one I was just talking to Bidey about it. Is it true Le Guin get rid of you when you get lapped in a 4-minute run from Oliver Bernard?
Oliver Bernard, he's the only one that never lapped me. Le Guin, what a guy he was, to be honest. I'm surprised big. What happened there?
At least said about him the better, mate. I
don't know what happened there.
Oh, you're still here. You're alright, you're still here.
My screen's run away.
You're alright, you're still there, mate.
You're alright, you're still here.
So still here, is I?
I can hear his eyes, just my screen's run away.
Aye, good. Listen, what was your time like at Derby County? My son-in-law was down there for about 8 years, come back up the road as a legend. How did you go on down there?
Obviously, promotion, so it was all right first season. Then
Aye, Bryson never made it. He had 3 or 4 playoff attempts and just could not get to the Premier League, but a massive football club.
listen, it's a hard league to go to be fair. We were lucky we went there on a long run of games. Even when we weren't playing well, we dug out results. But it's a hard league to get to. I think as well, also when Craig Bryson was there, it was the league was getting bigger and bigger at that point.
Yeah.
The money was getting more for the teams that were getting relegated and stuff, the parachute payments. So it got harder and harder for the teams that were already in the league. So, but Derby's done well. They're always one of the better teams.
Yeah.
And to go down there, to be fair, it's a great place to live, great surrounding area.
So, they loved it. Him and my daughter loved it down there. They really did, Bob.
It's a great place.
So it is. I think Craig went down when Billy Davis was there. Went down as a young boy when he left Clyde 17, 18, but they took him in trial and he come back up the road to Kilmarnock. But obviously Nigel Clough came back in and teared him down.
I can't remember if I was there at that point, but I can remember somebody speaking about it, and they said that he was a good player, but he was maybe at that point just a wee bit lightweight.
Aye.
But to say, even when I went down, I'm 6 foot. Obviously, I was fit at that point, and there was, you're talking about guys being 3 foot bigger than me, bulk double the size of me. Do you know what I mean? So.
Bob, I remember Craig's first game was against Birmingham City at Pride Park, and I went down, and every Birmingham City player was 6'2" or above, built like a brick shithouse. And Craig's running about like a wee boy saying, "Fucking hell, what's this all about?" You know what I mean?
One of my first start was against Wolves, which is a derby.
Yeah.
And it was against a guy called Olafinjana.
Yep.
And Jesus Christ, this guy was head and shoulders above me, built double the size. And that's who I was picking up playing during the game.
Aye.
Oh my God! It ended up being a battle, so it was up my street.
Aye.
I can see why some teams are a wee bit sceptical to take players that aren't physically built in that way.
Yep. Listen, what was your time like out in Australia? And did you ever come across a guy called Laurie McKenna out there?
Laurie McKenna? I don't know, you're putting me on the spot here. That was 10 years ago, I can't remember last week.
I'll tell you, Laurie actually, the reason I'm asking, Laurie actually played with Darvel before Kilmarnock signed him and then obviously immigrated to Australia, but Laurie's done really well for himself out there in Australia with a lot of big clubs out there, so he has.
To be fair, it's a great place to live. The football at that point was good. I think I don't know if it's getting a wee bit better now. I think once they went into the Oceania qualifications of Australian football stepped up a bit.
Yeah.
But I've got a funny story about when I just went to Australia. The first game that we played, night before the game, it was a Gold Coast had just come into the league, so it was it was a local derby, Brisbane against the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
And so at that point I'm staying with Craig Moore.
Right. And
across the road you've got Charlie Miller. No, it's not a good threesome that. Me, Charlie and Craig. So I'm sitting in the house office, I'm thinking about the game in the morning, going like that, the next day, thinking, I'm going to go and see what Charlie's doing. So I walks across to Charlie's house, chaps the door, no answer. So I opens it, walks round his back, he's sitting with a case of beer. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, what? I said, we've got a game in the morning. And he says, it's all right. He says, I can play with 3 cases of beer and still be the man in the match tomorrow. That's brilliant. And to be fair, I mean, he was honestly, what a great guy.
Brilliant. Bob, that's my questions. Mark will finish off with asking you a couple, mate, and that'll be us.
I was just going to ask a bit, just before I go into questions, just when you said that like Charlie obviously had a great career in that as well. I think a lot of players probably go out there. I know a guy that's actually, I think he's just left the juniors, but he played with Auchinleck and he went out to play with Bentley Greens. But he went out for a short period of time, but I think he didn't stay as long as what I'd anticipated. But he was saying that when he went out there, it's quite tough because obviously not having your family and all that, and it's better to have people run about you that you maybe know. It helps you obviously settle in. But do you feel that really helped you, obviously knowing the likes of Big Oz and Charlie and that? Did you feel like you enjoyed it? Really,
that definitely helped me, because I knew Heather and Oz before I went there. And to be fair, that was probably one of the reasons that I'd agreed to go, because I knew that I was for the first bit. And I ended up the year that I was there, I stayed there all the time with them. So that helped me. Obviously, I was there myself, so just staying there, they had a big house and that, so it wasn't a problem. But I can understand why players go there and they don't enjoy it, because it is obviously the other side of the world. But to be honest, I probably went there and thought to myself that it was going to be a piss case, and it was a total opposite. Even like you say now that footballers, they need to be fit, and that is what they've got in Australia. That everybody's fit, and if you're not fit over there, then you get caught out. And I probably did get caught out one of the first games against Gold Coast. I got caught out for one of the goals, and then that's when I kind of opened my eyes to it a wee bit and got myself fit and stuff. So, but it's definitely a good league to play. I think the standards got a lot better. We're getting bigger players bigger managers going for all around the world as well now. So, it's definitely to go.
All right, so I've got a fans question here for Alan Hunter. He said, you managed to play for Scotland under 21s and obviously the B side. Did you think that you earned the right to be called up to the first team squad at some point, and does it annoy you that you didn't get there?
I did get called up to the first squad. I was on the bench a few times.
Oh, was you?
I think I was seven times or something. I get called up to the squad.
He threw that question in late, to be fair, so maybe that was fans either side of when he wrote it.
No, to be honest, this is a hard one, because I know that everybody says that they always want to play for their country. When I was growing up, that's not one of the things that was on my priority list. I wanted to play for Rangers first and foremost, and if I was good enough, then I knew that I would get the call. But it wasn't there being. I don't regret not getting a Scotland call or get a Scotland cap. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I can remember going away with the future squad. There was a future squad at that point. I think when Bertie Vogts came, there was like kind of in between players that were playing for under 21s and players that weren't really playing much for it. And Don Hutchins, who was always in the squads but needed games. So like me, Stevie Hughes, Stevie Caldwell, Gary Caldwell, players like that who were younger but playing in their first teams, we get taken away for a couple of games, and I knew that I was playing in the Rangers team at the time, and I thought to myself, I don't really want to go away with a squad, because I know that the gaffer's going to use it as an excuse to drop me when I come back, saying that I need a rest. So I kind of tried to get out of it. And the day that the Scotland squad was flying out, I think it was Germany we were playing, and I turned up at training at Murray Park with my normal clothes on, as if I was training. And but I'd spoke to the gaffer the night before and I knew that I was turning up. And so I goes in and has a meeting with me, and he's like, why do you not want to go? I says, well, first and foremost, I know it's an excuse for you to drop me when I come back saying I need a break and stuff. And secondly, that I've obviously been called into the squad late, so am I just going to go there and sit on the bench and get 5 minutes? What's the point? But he spoke to Bertie Vogts, and Bertie Vogts says, no, he's coming to play. So eventually I ended up having to travel to Germany in my clothes that I wore to training that day. Just grabbed my boots and stuff, and Scotland gave me a tracksuit and things like that. And it ended up working out well, because we played, the Germany squad we played was Bastian Schweinsteiger, Kevin Kranye, guys like that, Mertesacker. And we drew 3 each from them, and I managed to get a goal. So it put me in Bertie Vogts' eyes, but as I say, it might not have been a good thing at that time, because I think he brought on about fucking 19 new players in 3 months. So it was a good experience, but it wasn't. I never regretted not playing for Scotland. It wasn't one of my things that I wanted to do in life.
Yeah, good. The last question, one for me that I've thrown in, which I thought might be quite good. So I don't know, you maybe not have seen on our Twitter or that, but we recently formed an alliance in the last few weeks with Galston Youth Football. A team that's five miles down the road, well-established youth set-up. We don't actually have one in the local town itself, Darrell. They've been going for years, massive concern. And it now basically we formed an alliance which provides, or it will provide, a pathway into senior football, whereas going in at tier 6 now for the local boys. Personally, I feel that that's a better setup for kids into youth football, that they can actually express themselves to that of pro youth and the pressures that they feel on that. What's your views, do you think, and coming obviously through the youth setup at Rangers, do you think, how do you feel about that, I suppose, is really the question.
I think when you want to get to the places that Davor getting to, or going to want to get to, then I think you need that. You need a 20s or whatever coming up behind you. You need to, even though just for that, you need players. If you're struggling for a squad, you need to bring kids up that are there to help out, maybe training one night, or the ones that are doing well, you can bring them to training, put them in the squads, whatever. It's always good that way. Problem with a few years ago, I don't know, Walter Smith did a big thing on it, saying that the kids aren't spending enough hours playing football. And I think even since he did that, maybe you're talking 5 years ago or 6 years ago, him and Gordon Strachan, I think they've probably playing less even since then. Back when I was growing up, or playing in the youth team at Rangers, I had school teams, boys club teams, training with Rangers, so I was probably at the house 4 or 5 times a week, training and playing Saturday and Sunday. Maybe twice a Saturday, once for the school, once for your boys club, and then playing with Rangers on the Sunday. Now, I think the pro youth's kind of killed that. With players signing young boys at 10, and they're not allowed to train with anybody else, and you're not allowed to play for the school team, not allowed to play for your boys club. So you're basically training once, twice a week with them whenever they play games. It's killing the game. They're not, the kids aren't enjoying it. And I can remember arguing with at a dinner, it wasn't even nothing to do with football, and one of the guys that was there's son was at Rangers, and he was having a go at me, why is my son not getting a chance and stuff, and I says, well, how do I know? I've never seen your son play. He's like, but he's been at this club and that club, and he signed for Rangers for Hibs. And I says, well, obviously he's good enough if they signed him, but I don't know why he's not getting a game and why he's not getting a chance. And basically gave it the excuse that it's because he wasn't playing with his mates, he wasn't enjoying it the same. And I says, well, you're probably right, because when you play up and you grow up and you play with your mates, and you're playing with a freedom. It's when you get your comfort zone and you have to go and play with other boys, then that's the hard thing. But everybody needs to do. That's what football is. You might need to go to a different country to play, so you can't learn to do that, then you've no chance.
Yeah, you've got to set up right through at Kelty, Bob. You've got to use all the way through.
We're 20s, 17s, 16s, 15s, 14s, right. And then we're right down to fun fours with kids at 4 and 5 and that. So we're right done.
Brilliant.
Aye, well, I just wanted to throw that in. It's just, I think obviously I think kids now up to that kind of age, like you were saying, like 10s and stuff like that, I still think it's relatively young for them away, because they know football when they're playing at the younger. It is just growing up and playing with their pals. You feel that they can.
I don't think they're enjoying it. To be honest, I don't think. Like I've got a wee boy, right, and he's only just started playing football. Well, he's only just started coming to our Kelty games maybe 6 months ago. Mm-hmm. And up to that point, he never really kicked the ball out, even though I was trying to get him to. Aye. He was never interested, and I took him to training one night, and ever since then he's been to training every night, been to every game. Won't put a ball down, which obviously I'm delighted with, but he wasn't enjoying it because he just thought, I want to play with my mates. But he's went through there and he's got a couple of wee mates through there now that come to the games and stuff, so he loves it. But I don't think he's interested in actually going to play for a team or whatever, but just for his fun. And I think that's other kids as well, who, if they're playing with their mates, then once they get to that age, if they're good enough, then they need to take the next step. I think that's what's killing. There's no that many players coming through. Teams that are having to bring them through, like the smaller teams, because they've not got big enough squads, or they wouldn't probably bring these kids in. Like we did it last season, to bring in a few 20s who probably weren't ready at that time. But you ask the coaching staff who deserves to be stepped up, and you've also got, we were just in the job no long, so we didn't really get to see the 20s at that point. But obviously then you get your own opinion of them, and if they're good enough or not, and I think that's what Mick's going to have to do. He's going to need to go and maybe watch that team that's coming. Is it Golston, you said?
Golston, aye.
The 20s are going to be Glenville.
Are they going to change to Darvo 20s then?
Aye.
They will be, aye.
Glenville's coming in as Darvo, aye.
Aye, their manager
So
team's
are they going to train the same place, or are they going to train down at Darvo? And
I don't know where they'll be training. They'll be training at Darvo because we train at
No.
Walkinch, obviously, Bob.
that's what I mean. The kids going to train there as well.
Train with the boys.
I think that's what's that's a big difference now as well. So when I was growing up, we used to train at the same place as the first team.
Yeah.
So if they were training like once, we trained at the cricket club, then they would train one side and we would train the other. So you got to see them training what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it gave you that wee bit to say, I want to be there.
Of course it is.
And I think that's a big thing. I went to Rangers a couple of months ago to present like their wee certificates thing for I think it was Easter camps. And I didn't realise that the first team bit had a big massive like blue fence around about it now. And I'm like, what the hell's that? And it was basically just for the privacy so that nobody could see into to watch them training. I don't get sure kids have got to see them.
Aye.
Kids don't see that, then they're never going to have the realisation, I want to be in that team.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I have to agree. Oh
It's
well.
hard, obviously. There's restrictions, obviously, money-wise, and I don't know about how. Like we get our pitch, we take 3/4, and the kids. One night we get 3/4, and the 20s have got a quarter, and another night we have got a half, and the women's team and the 20s have got about a quarter each. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Obviously, there's restrictions. We would also like a full pitch to work with the lads and do what we need to do, but we understand that there's obviously other teams there that need to train as well. So there's like Darwin, obviously Mick's got that decision. If he can get in whatever size of pitch he needs, then has he got that space if the 20s can train there, they might have to go and train somewhere else, which means that's not possible.
Aye.
I know, because where we are to Walkinch, I think currently at the minute, I think Partick Thistle, I think they've got certain part, they're either leave before we get there or they had a certain part and stuff. I'm not quite sure what they've got up at Walkinch, but it's a good facility up there as well. But I take your point there, it's that would be, as a youth or certainly coming through, to be able to aspire to be at the likes of the first team, and that must be a huge push on for the lads themselves without being kind of coached into that, you know.
Well, it definitely helps. Even when we were growing up as well, getting in the youth teams at Rangers, cleaning boots, just a small thing's cleaning boots. You're in the first team dressing room every day.
Aye.
And even though they're no maybe used to slap, first team players used to slap us a bit, but it was all fun and games, and even though you were maybe the brunt of the joke, it gave you a backbone, and
exactly.
Like, you get a wee bit back as well, and they respect you for it, to be fair. So I know it's hard now, obviously there's different, like, first teams want their first team, and then the kids somewhere different or on a different pitch, so it's hard, but I would just like it to go back to the days. I know it's not going to go back to the days because everybody sees them as the dark days where coaches were basically bullies, which I don't think they were. But now it's basically you can do a coaching badge on an iPad, and if you can pass a course in, you're
a coach.
You're a super.
That was probably an education as well as life skills in that when you were getting brought up like that as well. Well, isn't it just about football and stuff like that? You were getting other things there. I know you were saying it was maybe things that wouldn't maybe seen as PC these days, but you were getting a slight education from it. It's a
job. You're getting a job. You're getting responsibility, and even like small things. Like you probably at that time you were maybe cussing Bomber for the things it was doing, but looking back now, you're like, that's what made us.
Aye.
Like we things like we used to.
Character, Paul.
It does. Like Bomber used to drive the minibus, and or John McGregor used to drive the minibus, and Bomber would always be sitting in the front as well. So you've got big guys like Brian Reid, who was in the first team, but training with the kids sometimes. And we'd be travelling back and everybody would be throwing the water bottle, the lids off them. So Bomber would be looking in the mirror and he knows who it is that's doing it. So as soon as you come under the Clyde Tunnel at Govan, they'd be like, right, use 4, out. And you're like, what? So everybody's shitting themselves straight away. So the four guys he sent out have to run for the Clyde Tunnel all the way back to Ibrox through Govan, putting themselves in case they're getting chased.
When they take it, they didn't do it again then?
That's the whole. They've never done it again, and that's guys that are in the first team. That was a good thing. Bomber didn't care who it was, if you were a kid or a senior pro. If you done the disrespected him, like you hitting him with a ball, then don't run with the kids.
Aye, good. All right, well, that's the last of the questions. I don't have anything else for myself. Anything else for yourself, Jim?
No, Paul, I just hope it goes all right for you at Kelty, mate, and you do get promoted, because you certainly deserve to get promoted. If no, we'll see you in the South of Scotland Cup final next season, mate.
Hopefully it does, but we'll just take it as it comes. But I spoke to Barry yesterday. He wants to wish you all the best as well. I'm probably with Nick, so. But hopefully we can maybe, if it can't be done this pre-season, maybe we'll have during the season, get a wee game together and try and get a wee thing and see what sort of standard it is to be in that league.
Aye, brilliant. Well,
best of luck, Paul.
Yep, just
guys.
Yep, brilliant. Wish you all the best for the season. Thanks for your time, Bob. That's great.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Cheers, mate.